Hello everyone and welcome back to the life and suffering of Sir Bronte. So in the last episode, we let Sophia turn around and meet some of the higher people in society, I guess you could say, trying to get some help with the common folks. I still don't understand her motives sometimes, but whatever. And also we turned around and just kind of continued on this path. But things are starting to wrap up, so we need to kind of hurry. We need to go ahead and get the insight level up to about an 8, and we also need to get our family reputation up as much as possible so we can be as grand as possible by the end. But who knows? I don't know if we're gonna actually make it, but we'll see. So in the last one we ended off with Stephen's Gambit, sorry. And let's see how it goes. You've hardly found any time for family matters this year. The events taking place in the city keep you busy at all hours. Tonight you come home extremely late, but the fireplace in the sitting room is lit. By the fire you see Stephan with a glass of wine. I think I know what this is now. This is the thing where he tries to set something up with Gloria, now that I think about it. You take a seat in the chair by Stephan's side. Your brother keeps turning his glass with his long fingers. Daeron, we need to have a talk about Gloria. She flatly refuses to behave as she ought to. Her antics are ruining our family's reputation. If this situation persists, nobility of the sword will be out of the question. Brother, I do not wish her ill, but we have no right to sit idly by. Regrettably, Gloria will never truly be a part of the Brante family. Her origins are too tarnished, so it is our duty to find her a new family. It is high time Gloria got married. But we can't just give our sister to a commoner, can we? And how could any noble wed her, knowing her origins? It's been a stumbling block for a long time, but I finally found a suitable match for her. His name is Jose El Pelletier. He is a young nobleman of the sword, recently graduated from the college, and now he has a position at the city hall. Do you recall a reception several years ago where he couldn't take his eyes off Gloria? Pelletier has been obsessed with her ever since. Not even her lowly origins can deter him. Admittedly, Gloria does not reciprocate his affections just yet. So let us convince Gloria that becoming Sir El Pelletier's bride is her chance to escape her current situation. And then let us pray she comes to her senses and puts her rebellious ways behind her. Isn't this an ideal solution? After marrying El Pelletier, Gloria will be a noblewoman herself. We'll be granting her the freedom she craved since she was a girl, and then she can write poetry and do whatever else takes her fancy. I will enter into negotiations with El Pelletier's family. Rumor has it Jose's father already has a future wife in mind for him, the daughter of an important chancellery official. But Jose's passions must win out in the end, don't you agree? As for you, Daeron, please help me with Gloria. You're closest with her. You can make her see how beneficial this match will be. She must fulfill her duty to the family that took her in, after all. Okay, I only have 2 options here. I can agree or refuse. Stephan looks at you expectantly. You are at a crossroads. Will you accept your brother's plan or refuse him? Will this marriage be a blessing, and for whom? I am going to turn around and refuse. Oh, that increases my unity, increases my willpower also, but it will knock Stephan down by 2. So there's that. So let us refuse. It'll put him at 0, but Your words slice through the silence of the sleeping house. You disagree with Stephan and will not participate in his plots against your sister. Stephan does not say anything, but his grip on the glass tightens. Finally, you hear the sound of breaking glass, and glimmering shards fall to the floor. Stephan pensively contemplates the blood running down his palm. Pity. What a pity our grandfather, Sir Gregor, is no longer with us. He would make both you and Gloria see reason. Neither of you is capable of grasping what family and blood mean, so I suppose I must bear this burden alone. Stephan leaves the room. You're left alone in front of the dying fire. After your conversation last night, Stephan mostly stays silent and treats Gloria with pointed courtesy. The family breathes a collective sigh of relief. Could the feud between Stephan and Gloria finally be over? You're the only one who is aware of the scheme your brother is concocting. Of course, our harmony is still a 10. My willpower is now completely maxed out. So there's that. Am I going to get an event with Gloria now? Yep. Alright. This event is a consequence of your previous action. Gloria is greater than or equal to 1. And I didn't have the secret plot with Sir Stephan. Your home is quiet tonight. Father is away arbitrating disputes in migrant villages. Stephan is visiting one of his high-placed patrons. After a dinner spent in silence, everyone retreats to their chambers. You're about to retire for the night when Gloria calls out to you. Daeron, wait a minute. I have an important favor to ask you. Your sister leads you to her long-time refuge, the library. Here in the shadows between the bookcases, you will not be overheard. Brother, I wish to speak with you before Stephan returns. His scheming is becoming unbearable. It's beyond Sir Robert's power to stop him, let alone Mother or Nathan. You're my only hope. You shrug. All families argue from time to time, but every quarrel has to end sooner or later. Yes, it will end when Stephan finally gets rid of me. As far as he's concerned, I'm just a stumbling block and a stain on his father's good name. He let me stay in the house only to avoid causing a scandal in high society. But as soon as the Brontes get his precious nobility of the sword, I'll be out on the streets in the blink of an eye. Daeron, you don't want me to get kicked out of the family, do you? Please help me. I need to convince Sir Robert to adopt me and make me legitimate. After that, it won't be so easy for Stephan to dispose of me. And then I won't bear the stigma of being a bastard anymore. I know Sir Robert would agree, if only by virtue of the love he has for our mother, but Stephan is standing in his way. Tell me, will you help me? Ah, shit. An illegitimate child who has never known her father, a stranger in the family, Gloria looks at you with hopeful, pleading eyes. So I could help Gloria. I'll get +1, or I could refuse her. The unity would still be up by 1. Willpower will go up by 5. Glory will go down by 2, so we'll put her to indifferent. This doesn't really benefit me at all, but I will help Gloria in this. I'm sure that's gonna screw my reputation, but oh god. You give Gloria a firm embrace. Ever since you were children, she has always been by your side. The two of you may have different fathers, but she is your sister, and she must remain a member of this family. It is your duty to come to her aid. You will make sure Gloria becomes a Brante. Gloria lets out a sigh of relief and hugs you back. It makes me so happy to know you're on my side. You wait for Stephan to come home. Your brother returns from his visit mirthful and in high spirits. This is the perfect moment to have a talk. That went splendid, brother. Magistrate O'Verman himself will support us. I'm on a friendly footing with his son now. It won't be long before we become nobles of the sword. But why are you still up? You raised the matter of your sister. The feud between Stephan and Gloria must end. Your brother seems to be unaware of how much damage it is inflicting on the family. But you know how to remedy it. The reason for everything is Gloria's lowly station. She should bear the Brante name. Your brother assumes a bored mien. Don't waste your time, brother. I know what Gloria is after. You mentioned damage to the family. Can you even fathom what this would mean for the Brante name? By allowing an illegitimate child into his family, our father would cover us all with an indelible shame. Several generations of Brontes to come would not even dare to dream of becoming nobles of the sword. By the twin gods, I will not let that happen. You attempt to point out to Stephan that Gloria's desperate situation is leading her to more and more audacious escapades. If your sister becomes a member of this family, she'll stop. Believe me, Daeron, I want to see Gloria at peace as much as you do, but not at the cost of our entire family's future. Absolutely not. I have a different idea for Gloria, and I'm sure this situation will satisfy everyone involved. Good night. You let your sister know of Stephan's vehement denial. Gloria is so vexed, she's shaking. So he wouldn't even hear us out, is that it? He's willing to do anything just to drive me out, isn't he, Daeron? We need to think of something. Gloria will continue her battle for the right to stay with the family, and you have promised to help her. So now we have the secret plot. Powder keg. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Conditions met. Greater than or equal to 5. Stash of gunpowder. Okay. Let's see what we got here. The air is chilly. The sun has set. You make your way toward the city walls, avoiding busy streets. There, by an old grain warehouse, you have an appointment with Sophia. She wanted to speak to you face to face. Is she afraid of being overheard? She's already there, leaning on the old wall and smoking her pipe. She greets you with a nod. I'm glad you got here quick, listen up. We've been in Anazet for a while now. I've seen how you handle things with the last straw. I think I can trust you. I need to ask you a favor. It's for the last straw, but Felipe can never find out about it. I need gunpowder, and I need it now. I led you to the stuff, and now I want you to tell me where they're hiding it. You ask Sophia what she needs the gunpowder for. The young woman squints and looks you in the eye. To get people riled up. To start the revolt. Don't expect any details. You know how it goes. The longer the chain, the easier it breaks. You'll find out soon enough. For now, the question is whether you trust me or not. Just give me the gunpowder and keep your trap shut. Think you can handle that? So if I give her that, Sophia has gunpowder. The wealth of Margaret will go down by 1, order will go down by 1, but unrest will go up by 2. And Sophia's opinion of me will go up by 1. If I refuse it, her opinion will go down by 1. Shite. Okay. Unrest by 2. That would put it at 7, which would put me real close to what I need. Yeah. Sorry, I had to get a drink of juice. Let's see. I think I'm gonna do that. I don't like the fact that Sophia's gonna have the gunpowder and that's a destiny, but let me see, what would that do? Because I think I need it for something else. Let's see, profitable business. I have to seize the guns. And if Sophia has the gunpowder, I don't know what that's gonna do for me later on. I'm hoping that means she will do something to kind of start this revolution thing, but I don't know. That could be bad. So, I can't do the last straw's riot because unrest is nowhere near that high. And me and Sophia has not grown that close, but that will put me so close to unrest being, yeah, that will put me real close to unrest being an 8. So I think I'm going to do it. Agree. You draw a map on the ground with the tip of your boot. There's a small mountain ridge half an hour to the east of South Gate. There used to be a quarry there. You stashed the gunpowder in one of the tunnels. Sophia studies your sketch intently, then wipes it away with her foot. I'm glad to see I was right about you. Thanks. When the time comes, I'll be able to help both of us. Once she has the gunpowder, Sophia wastes no time. The first blast detonates in front of the chancellery. The granite statue of Emperor Uther falls from its pedestal and shatters, strewing rubble across the square. Another blast. A wall of the Inquisition ward falls. Several champions of faith are killed. About a dozen apostates manage to escape in the chaos. A third blast. The bridge over the brine near Anazet collapses. A caravan of Archduke Melanatus' tax collectors are lost in the turbulent waters. This is clearly just the beginning. Sophia is not one to rest on her laurels. The overseer is livid. The prefecture raids manufacturers and mine owners, but cannot find a single superfluous gunpowder keg. The citizens are agitated. Rumors about the bombers run rampant. Some say they are criminals who escaped the mines. Others are convinced that witches are behind the explosions. There's also a rumor that the explosions were set off by enemies of the Empire, but everyone is equally horrified by the deadly, merciless force of gunpowder. It spares no one. All are equal before it. Nobles die in explosions just like commoners or clergymen. The fear that has paralyzed the people begin to erode. The commoners are now armed with a weapon capable of destroying an entire army. It does not take them long to come to grips with this. The last straw's ranks continue to swell. Those who had doubts are now free of them. The call for freedom resounds louder and louder on the streets of Anazet. A few powder kegs were enough to shatter the illusion of the Empire's invisibility. Sophia's plan worked. Okay. Sophia has sympathy now for me. There's misery and devastation in Magra, and discontent in Magra as well. But the people are ready for a struggle now. Okay, so that threw me over the hump now. So I wonder what event we're finna get next. I think there's an event that will happen. Okay, Sophia has the gunpowder, and that destiny is there. Alright, getting even. Felipe left Anazet for the capital last night on urgent business. He gave you both direct, unambiguous orders before he left. Cease all activity and wait for him to return. A month of freedom, an entire month of peace. Is this real? Can you finally stop and catch your breath? But unfortunately, you do not even get to enjoy the thought of freedom for long. As soon as noon approaches, Sophia appears in the door of your office. She has risked a visit in the middle of the day. This must be urgent. What brings her here? Dorius Auden, ring a bell? You know the High Commander of Magra, an Archnean, my former master, rapist, murderer, all-around piece of shit. I've been keeping tabs on him ever since I got back to Anazet. Here's where it gets interesting, Brante. Turns out Felipe El Faro isn't the only guy trying to take advantage of the chaos to make a grab for power. There's a noble revolt brewing, way up in the upper echelons. Milanatus' followers are itching to rebel against Overseer Tempest, and Dorius Auden is one of the heavies. You see where I'm going with this? All Gaius Tempest's authority comes from the Imperial Legion's sword, and the guy in charge of them all, the High Commander of the province, that's Auden. He can't wait to betray the Overseer and hand all the power over to the Archduke. If this revolt goes through, everything we've worked for will go up in smoke. We can't let this happen. We need to expose Auden as the traitor he is and give Gaius Tempest all the proof. What about Felipe? What does he have to say about this? We don't even know where Felipe is right now. He's incommunicado. We'll have to go against his orders and act on our own. We've got no time to waste either. They could spring into action at the drop of a hat. Sophia's voice is trembling. You're not used to hearing her like this. You ask her why she's so eager to take Auden down. Is she out for revenge? I'm more worried about the last straw's future than revenge, but I'm gonna level with you. If I had my way, I'd love nothing more than to strangle Auden with my bare hands. Sicking the overseer on him is the next best thing. As usual, Sophia sounds level-headed and makes a solid point, but you cannot help but feel she's still hiding something. Should you defy Philip's orders, only have... Okay, so I just can't do this. Okay. Should you defy Philip's orders and aid her, is it a good idea to get involved in the struggle between the province's two most powerful Archneans? I can't agree to the plan. I get +1 spy networks, I'd lose 5 willpower. Dorius Auden will get dishonored, and Sophia will get +1. I can do this because I have scheming and I have enough willpower. If I refuse, I get willpower and I lose +1 with Sophia. If I refuse and have Sophia shadowed, I will get +1 spy network, +1 scheming. I'll lose 5 willpower and I'll lose 1 with Sophia. That just seems stupid. So I'm going to agree. I'm going to agree, and I'm going to get Dorius Auden dishonored. I'm sure that'll help me out later on. Oh, maybe it'll help Thomas now that I think about it. Thank you, Daeron. I never doubted you for an instant. For the next 10 days, you watch Auden's house, memorizing the guard's schedule, studying the layout of the mansion, planning escape routes. Finally, you have the opportunity to act. When night falls, the two of you go there together. There is a carriage at the door. It looks all too familiar. Is there a guest at the Auden's mansion? Who cares? There's no turning back now. There's no time. You climb over the tall stone wall and disappear into the dark garden. The sprawling shrubbery conceals you. Perfect timing. A few seconds later, two night watchmen turn the corner, about to walk past. Sophia's eyes flare with burning yellow light. The guards fall into a deep sleep and collapse on the spot. You drag them to the shadows. Once you have their keys, your dagger finishes them both off. The bodies dissipate, two lesser deaths. Once inside and in the mansion's kitchen, now that I think about it, wouldn't it be dumb to turn around and kill people unless they're on their final death? Because if you kill them, they're gonna just reappear later on. So if they reappear soon, then maybe they would turn around and be able to alert people of what just happened. Anyway, once inside and in the mansion kitchen, you prick up your ears. You hear footsteps and the muffled voices of Auden and his late night guests. They are too far away for you to recognize a single word, but their voices are coming from the sitting room. This is promising. You need to make your way to Auden's study on the second floor. You sneak to the stairs, shrouded in total darkness. The voices are clearer now. You're trying too hard to please both the overseer and magistrate. You ought to stop that before you lose your seat to someone else, unless you side with the right people, that is. Sir Auden, I wholeheartedly share the Archduke's anger, but a revolt, the city will suffer immensely. So you're just a coward then, human. You've wasted enough time on this. You sneak to the upper floor to conceal yourselves in Auden's study. So it's all true. Auden's in this thing up to his eyeballs. We're almost out of time, Daeron. Look for papers. Anything with the Millenata seal on it. We're gonna put the screws to this prick. The two of you hurriedly rummage around in bookshelves, drawers, and cabinets. Any note or letter you find that seems even remotely useful, you stuff in a bag. The floorboards creak. The footsteps grow louder and closer. The window. The glass shatters. Sophia jumps through the window frame. The door behind you slams open. Auden dashes into the room with inhuman speed. He grabs a sword from the wall and rushes at you. Out of options, you leap outside just as the cold steel slices through the skin on your back, but you are already falling. Sophia helps you to your feet. Don't let them get away! But the High Commander's order is futile. No one knows the streets and alleyways of Anisette better than you and Sophia. Several hours later, you finally reach the door of the print shop. Take your shirt off. I need to wash that wound of yours. You got lucky, real lucky. He almost had you, because I can't fight and I'm not invisible. If I was invisible, then I could have stopped him. What now? What will she do next? Oh, I'll send the overseer a little gift. I'm sure you and I will hear about Auden real soon. 3 days later, the papers find their way to Gaius Tempest. He issues an order to relieve Auden of his duties as the High Commander of Magra. Soon after that, the disgraced Archnean departs for Castle Serpenverda. That fateful night had left you with a treasure trove of dangerous information, enough to tarnish the reputation of the many nobles complicit in the plot. You wisely keep the intelligence to yourself for now. It just might come in handy one day. Alright? So she has sympathy for me now. I think if I get one more, she will actually be pretty cool with me. So that might help. Doris Auden is now dishonored. Dick. And we have one spy network. Nice. And we're still prepared for anything. We're ready for absolutely anything. Alright, the year is 1143, the last straw. Rumors are running wild in Anisette. People say that a mysterious clandestine society called the Last Straw holds the entirety of the city's seedy underbelly in its clutches, with men in safe houses all over Anisette, plotting and scheming against the nobles and the rulers of the province. Their leader is a woman, a ruthless criminal by the name of Sophia. She has evaded all attempts at capture. The common people both fear the Last Straw and sympathize with their cause. If the rumors are true, the city finally has someone who will stop at nothing to help the people claim their rights. But who will support this secret organization? And how did the insurgents manage to survive this long? No one in the city knows the answer. Magistrate El Vermin must assuage the people's fears once again. The vile mutineers and heretics who call themselves the last straw will be caught and executed very soon, and anyone who has given them money and shelter will meet the same fate. The secret chancellery will make sure of that. But even facing a manhunt, the last straw still endures. Slowly but surely, the influence of this underground organization is spreading throughout the city. Alright, order is going down, and now we're at unrest. The struggle for power has gone up, and it is just a struggle for power. And the wealth of Magra is in just complete tatters right now. The card goodbye. Night falls upon the city, shrouding it in darkness and dotting the sky with stars. The skin of the the din of the streets dies down slowly. Soon, the heavy footfalls of gendarme patrols is the only sound. You are at the print shop tying up the day's loose ends. There's a sudden knock at the door. Sophia walks in without a word, holding a half-empty bag. She heads to the room containing the shop's records. Somewhere in there, under piles of paperwork, is a crate with her things in it. Sophia pushes the paper aside and starts shoving her things into the bag. She barely looks at what she's doing. What's going on? She freezes, as though noticing you for the first time. Then she pulls up a chair, sits down, and lights her pipe. I was with Felipe just now. I'm leaving. For a long time. Could be a whole year. Gotta recruit pissed off people for the last straw from all over Magra. He thinks we've already found everybody here in Anisette. Is she going alone? Sophia nods, exhaling smoke. Yep. Philippe's orders. Says it's safer that way. He needs you here. Her eyes are trained on you. You notice yellow light glimmering deep within them. Even without the underground movement, Sophia is just as dangerous on her own, and Felipe actually thinks she is going to recruit hundreds more people to die for his scheme. Sophia puffs out ring after ring. They slowly dissolve in the air, filling the room with acrid smoke. There is no hiding from her light blue eyes. Her gentle smile plays on her lips. Just don't botch the whole thing while I'm gone, okay, Brante? You nod. An awkward silence follows. Deep inside Sophia's pipe, a red spark flares back to life again. She knew you would be at the print shop alone tonight. Did she really come here just to tell you this? She does not look away. Okay, there's only two options I have here. I can wish her a safe journey. Willpower will go up by 5, but Sophia will go down by 1. Okay. And I can't do any of these. I can't swear to remain loyal to her. That would have gotten me -5 willpower, but me and Sophia would have been close. I can't promise to protect her. That would have given me 5 willpower, and I would have got +1 with Sophia. I can't tell her how I feel. That would have given me 5 willpower, and I needed to have... It was only off by 1. Oh, but I needed Sophia to be merciless. So, I don't know how I would have ended up getting that. Or I can confess my love for her. Well, shit. I don't love her. I actually quite hate her, in general. But, I do need her, I think, to be close in order to turn around and get one of the destinies that we have here. The Last Straw's Riot. Yeah, so I need that. I need her to have grown close in order to do that. And unrest needs to be a 9 or 10. Okay. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to confess my love to her, as much as I hate her. But let's do it. Oh, I got an achievement for that. Her one weakness. You take a moment to think, then sit next to Sophia. After another pause, you finally speak your mind. You've had this feeling ever since you were a child. You've tried to fight it, tried to ignore it, but it was all in vain. Even after she betrayed you, you still love her, no matter what. And now there's no reason to hide it anymore. You remember every moment you spent together, the games you used to play, her escape from the city, your chance encounter in Eterna, her getting your entire crew killed. You have both experienced plenty of misfortune in your lives, but you are still happy because you've always been together, even though you haven't been. And then you said, I hate you. I will always hate you. No, I'm just playing. I love you. I will always be there for you. I will keep you safe from the rest of the world. There's nothing I will not do for you. This is just tragic. Sophia freezes as though she has forgotten how to breathe. She interrupts you in a hushed whisper. Why are you... This can't be happening. Oh, trust me, I feel the same way. This isn't real. It's never real. Nobody stays. Everybody leaves. One way or another. I'm leaving right now. And then you'll leave me too. You get down on your knees before Sophia and kiss her tobacco-stained fingers. Oh, God. You embrace her with great care, holding her close, stroking her hair. No, you will never leave her. Not ever. Her back grows stiff. But then Sophia's shoulders begin to shake. She's crying. Crying. You never thought it possible. You wipe the tears from her eyes. She holds your face in her hands and kisses you on the lips. And there's nothing to say. She feels exactly the same. You cannot stop. You do not want to stop. Your head swimming in a blissful daze, your mind all but gone, dissolved in those kisses, the warm caresses, so gentle, the whispers, so soft and sweet, the beating of your heart, the sound of discarded clothing falling to the floor. She's so vulnerable, so amazingly, impossibly defenseless. You've never thought she would open herself to you like this, and yet there she is, legs wide open, right by your side, smiling and crying, laughing and kissing, touching and caressing, looking at you so tenderly, all at once. The night lasts an eternity. You are with her. She is yours. That has to be terrible. The sun rises. She has to leave. You can barely force yourself to let her go. Your kisses follow her to the doorstep. You promise to wait for her. You swear to remain by her side until the very end. Just before the door shuts, Sophia gives you a sheath containing a misericord, a long, slender dagger. Here, it's for you. May it give you strength. You can do anything. I know it. It's just the way it is. That was amazing, Daeron. The memory of our night together is the most precious thing I'm bringing with me, and I can't wait to destroy that memory as well. It'll tide me over until I come back to you. Take care, and don't be afraid of nothing. Our cause is just. She gives you a long, slow kiss, then leaves at last. The door closes quietly behind her. The last straw is on your side, on your shoulders now, but you are no longer alone. Oh boy, you have no idea how alone you are. All right. Relation has went up by 1. She has affection towards me now. And we have grown close. Put it mildly. I'm still prepared for anything. An affair with Sophia. You've become the closest person to Sophia. I'm beginning to miss the Cthulhu daughter elf lady that was Octavia. Olivia. Olivia? Octavia. Olivia. I think it's Olivia. The Legion in the city. The unrest in Magra is growing by the day. More and more commoners flock to the streets and squares, trying to make their voices heard by the nobility. The crowds have become too large for gendarmes to disperse. They can no longer be ignored. For the first time in years, the ruling estate seems to have seen the people for the terrifying power they represent, and they have decided to fight fire with fire. In spite of all the resistance offered by Prefect Elborn and the Lesser Quorum, the magistrate and the aristocracy finally get their way. Overseer Tempest deploys the troops to the city. The streets and squares are packed on this ill-fated day. Hidden in the crowd, you watch 2 battalions of Imperial Legion march triumphantly down the streets of Anazet. The banners of Magra and the Tempest dynasty soar proudly above the soldiers' heads. Gaius Tempest leads the battalion himself atop a white Monian stallion. To his right, you see the young captain of the battalion. He looks familiar. It's Thomas Giro. When the procession reaches the Golden Square, It stopped so the overseer can address the people. Battalions, defense formation. The Legion soldiers spring into action, slamming their weapons against their shields as they move. Their ranks shift in eerie harmony down to the last man, like an enormous, uncanny machine, and then they all stop at once in an instant. The square grows silent. The overseer's booming voice echoes for all to hear. People of Anazet, I have heard your cry for help, and come to this city accompanied by my loyal soldiers, Jesus. The Imperial Legion will bring order to Anazet and put an end to all riots and crime. These soldiers will protect you from the schemes of rebellious nobles, insidious insurgents, and anyone else who seeks to spark unrest. I am Gaius Tempest, the overseer of Magra and Anazet. By the Emperor's decree, I rule this land. Those who question my rule question the Emperor's rule as well, and they will be executed as rebels and insurrectionists. You hear whispers throughout the square. The Legion's arrival is a harbinger of change, but how drastic will this change be? Even at home, the Legion is the only topic of conversation during dinner. Thanks to twins, Gaius Tempest has finally decided to act. Those lowborn scum have grown far too insolent of late. They ought to be reminded of their place with an iron fist. Intimidating the people won't do anyone any good, Stephan. They've had valid reasons to take to the streets, but instead of hearing them out, the overseer is hiding behind his soldiers. It's disgusting. I think Gloria is right. Everyone's really scared. A lot of my friends want the Legion to leave the city too. Those friends of yours know nothing, Nathan. Their lot is to work and suffer, not wag their tongues. Oh, we're so sorry, Sir Stephan. We forgot that only blue bloods can rule. Too bad all that inbreeding hasn't made them any smarter. Jesus. Enough bickering, you two. You clearly don't understand what's going on. The purpose of the Overseer's move is, first and foremost, to thwart the plot against him set in motion by Archduke Melanidas' loyal clique of nobles. The commoners are a secondary matter. By the way, Daeron, I've heard the battalion is being led by an old schoolmate of yours. He hasn't told you anything about what Gaius Tempest is up to, has he? You have not seen Thomas in a long time. He has not told you anything. That's too bad. Oh well, I suppose time will tell. Whatever the reason, the Legion is here in Anazet and is a force that must be reckoned with. And as luck would have it, Thomas is in command of it. Is there any way for you to turn this situation to the last straw advantage? I can't use him because I don't have the bond of friendship, even though we are essentially very, very close. I can convince Thomas to cooperate. That's if it's greater than 2 and we haven't severed all ties. The unrest will go down by 2. No, I don't want to fucking do that. Wait, what? Again, this is stupid. This is stupid. What? This gives me +2 if I use Thomas. You ask him to violate his order and let the people protest despite the risk of incurring the Overseer's wrath. But if I convince him, you are prepared to give Thomas the names of the commoners inciting unrest in the city. In exchange, you will recruit several Legion officers as secret chancellery. Oh, okay, that's the reason why. That's stupid. So I don't want to convince Thomas to cooperate. I do need unrest to be an 8. I don't like this. That's really irritating. That is really irritating. Yeah, that's really irritating. But I'm gonna incite the common people to riot against them. I'm gonna lose a spy network, and the order will go down. My eloquence will go up by 1, but the unrest will go up to 8, and that's exactly what I need. So. You have about a dozen leaflet sketches to choose from. Legion out of Anazet. The slogan is written in big, bright red letters over a profile of the Overseer's deep blue visage. It'll do. The Legionnaires are patrolling the streets, but you know how to get things done without being spotted. It only takes a night for the leaflets to appear on every street corner in Anisette. The battalion's arrival has already upset the city. All you have to do is call for action against the Overseer's move. The next morning, you hear people quoting your leaflets on the streets and children screaming at the Legion soldiers to leave. You spot Thomas on your way home from work. He's standing in front of his old home, reading a leaflet glued to the wall. With a heavy sigh, he finally tears it off and tosses the crumpled piece of paper to the ground. You hail Thomas and greet him as you come close. "Hey Daeron, did you see this? What happened to our city while I was gone?" "I was really looking forward to coming back. I begged Gaius Tempest to give me this command. I honestly thought I was coming here to protect my friends and family against insurgents and rioters. But I guess I was wrong. The people I care about don't want my protection. They hate me, Brante. Do you?" You stand there silently. After a moment, you politely wish Thomas a good night and head back home. The Legion battalions commanded by Thomas Giro remain stationed at the city for 2 months. The soldiers continue patrolling the streets and try their best to act carefully, but their attempts at peacemaking only further irritate the already inflamed populace. Your leaflets have turned the people of Anisette against the Legion. The protests on the streets and the squares continue. More and more new leaflets continue to appear throughout Anisette. The city is even more restless than before. After 2 months of this, Gaius Tempest finally orders the battalions back to Castle Ranieri. Prefect Augustin Elborn is once again entrusted with keeping the peace. So order is down to 2 now. The people are ready for the struggle. That's lovely. Oh, but I don't want it to get too high, otherwise we'll get Philippe's reign. And of course, if it's also too low, yeah, that'll be a problem. I need to be careful about that. And my eloquence is +1. I have a silver tongue still. I need it to be 16 in order to be an inspired speaker. Yeah, don't think that's gonna happen, but we'll see. Sound and Fury. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Conditions met. Unrest greater than or equal to 8. Oh shit. Riots in Anisette are reaching the boiling point. The disgruntled crowds that took to the streets 2 days ago are protesting night and day. The pavement is littered with rubble and broken glass. It is impossible to deny that you had a hand in this. The last straw has spent years helping the common folks of Anisette realize that they have the right to make their voices heard. Any attempt to silence that voice has led to paroxysms of rage among the people. The Lesser Quorum petitioned Gaius Tempest 3 days ago. The petition asked the Overseer to suspend the nobility's ancient right to be exempt from taxes. This would ease the burden of the poor common folk. But the petition never reached the Overseer. Several furious nobles barged in while the quorum was still in session. It all ended in bloodshed. The next day, the commoners took to the streets. They demanded that the Overseer adopt the quorum's proposal at once. They've clamored tirelessly for the nobles' despotism to be punished for 2 days now. The authorities remain silent. The city is on the verge of a revolt. I need you to deal with this at once, Brante. Stop this madness by any means necessary. If these disturbances go too far, noble blood could be spilled. We can't let it happen. But how are you supposed to stop the crowd? And for that matter, should you? Okay, so I have a couple options here. I can bribe the leaders of the revolt. Shit. The unrest will go down by 2. Wealth would go up. My wealth will go down by 2, but my manipulation will go up by 1. I could threaten the Lesser Quorum. Unrest will go down by 2. My spy network will go down by 1. Or I could take control of the disturbances. Oh, shit. I don't like this. Order will go down by 1. Wealth of Margaret will go up by 1. Unrest will go up by 2. Spy network will go down by 1. Wealth will go down by 1. Scheming will go up by 1. Really? You're putting me in a real bad spot here, game. You're really putting me in a bad spot. Because, see, like, watch. I bet you my neck, if I turn around and do this, it's gonna turn around and put me in a situation where not only I can't recover from this. Oh, this is really irritating. I will threaten the lesser quorum. Jesus, come on now. Like, why would there be an event there? Like, just why would there be an event there? You flip through your papers. It is time to find out if all the hours spent spying on the lesser quorum have paid off. Bribery, smuggling, ties to the insurgency. Every member of the quorum has his sins. Exploiting them is child's play. You thoughtfully and deliberately compose several letters. You list all the circumstances that are known to you, sparing no detail. You can either wait for your secrets to be divulged to your enemies or persuade the commoners that expecting their taxes to be lowered is absurd. If you do this, we will agree to forget what we know forever. This is nothing but blatant, shameless blackmail, but it works. The very next day, almost the entire lesser quorum appears before the people of Anazet. Mayor Egmont is the only one not present. The delegates announced that they have withdrawn their plea to the overseer. They appeal to the people to remember their lot and show patience and fortitude. A revolt will solve nothing. It will only lead to pointless bloodshed. The people disperse. You see anger and resentment on their faces. They put their trust in the delegates, and that trust has been betrayed. Their rage still simmers below the surface, but the revolt no longer serves any purpose. See, that really irritates me. I'm sorry. I mean, because, again, now I've lost 2 unrest. I don't know if I'm going to get that unrest or what other position it's going to put me in, but it's putting me in a really bad spot. Like, and that was unnecessary. That was really unnecessary. You could have did -1. You could have did nothing as far as unrest goes or whatever, because we're near the end of this chapter, but come on now. Like, I understand having a balance, but you really kind of making it hard to where I can't have a balance. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Are we finna get into another one of these spirals? Because I swear to God, if I get into another one of these spirals, no. Spy network is less than or equal to 2. A sound of thunder. Late one night, you send all the print shop employees home. Felipe El wishes to see you in person tonight. You sit behind your desk, anxiously attentive to every sound. You hear quiet stomping outside. Several men enter the room, led by Moss. Hello there, Daeron. They are all, without a doubt, armed. They stop at the door. You hear a cane tapping at the floor as Felipe walks in. He sits at your desk and squints at you without saying a word. So, Brante, how's our spy network doing? You open your mouth, but the advisor cuts you short. His voice is utterly hostile. Why aren't you getting any results? Do you think you can fool me? Or are you just too stupid to be entrusted with such a crucial mission? How can I explain your ineptitude, Brante? Betrayal or idiocy? Don't you understand that your job is the only thing you should be doing? Don't you see how important it is? I'm standing on the brink of chaos, and it's about to consume us all. The safety of the Empire depends on the intelligence you're supposed to be gathering. I trust you, and what do I get in return? Idleness and wasted time. Either you're dragging your feet on purpose, or you're too witless and sluggish to obey my orders. I have no use for traitors or fools. Ah yes, because this is of course my decision here. It's not the game completely steamrolling me and fucking me in the process. Was I wrong to believe Sophia? Should I just dispose of you and find someone who can do better? Ugh, God. Let's see. I could promise quick results. The unrest goes down by 2. Are you fucking kidding me? So I am not picking that. Let's see. Or I can turn around and lie to Felipe. And I can do that because my manipulation is greater than or equal to 16. And I have enough willpower. That's just fucking stupid. That is real stupid. You get 2 spy networks, but then the unrest goes down even further. Like, that's just... Oh boy, this game loves steamrolling you. And it's one of these situations where, once again, like, I don't see how you can, like, the stat wise, I can understand trying to keep a balance with that. But when it comes to these things where you have situations where it puts you into these long tracks where you don't get anything happening when it comes to certain things going on in the game, like when it comes to unrest and your spy network. There are long tracks where it'll just take stuff away from these and you have no way of replenishing them, or you'll get one, but then you end up in a situation like this where it'll take two away from you. Now here we are near the end of the game and it just took two away from me, and if I was screwed, I would have had to take another two away from the unrest stats, and then it just screws you until you just get stuck into a bad ending. But okay, I will lie to Felipe. Which also kind of screws me because now it's starting to go into my willpower. You assure Felipe that all the resources of the secret organization are already being used to search for valuable information. Your men are doing everything they can. The spy network is actually in a much better state than it may seem. The results you have obtained so far only seem insignificant because the task at hand is so demanding. You have to train people on the job, and hardly any of them, you nod at Moss, are master spies. They make a lot of mistakes. In your personal opinion, the fact that none of them have been caught yet is an achievement in and of itself, but they are learning. You implore the advisor to give you one more chance. You promise results very, very soon. Felipe looks at you incredulously, drumming his fingers on the desk. After a long pause, he eventually nods. For your sake, Brante, I hope that turns out to be true. This is your last chance. If you fail to provide me with valuable intelligence very soon, I will conclude that your service and your life are of no further use to me. Felipe nods to the guards at the door, and they all leave, concocting a pile of counterfeit reports for Felipe, inventing compromising details about people you do not know, so you have something to present to the secret chancellery. You can only hope your lies will seem plausible. These reports will placate Felipe's wrath for a while, but you're just buying time. You need to act or this will all end in tragedy. And it's moments like this where I'm just like, what is the fucking point of Sophia? What is the point of relations with other people? What is the point of saving other people if it's just going to turn around and put you on the path like this? It's really irritating. Oh great, what now? Usual suspect. This event is a consequence of your previous action. Felipe El Faro saw your loyalty. I did not have that happen. Here we go. Gonna get steamrolled into a bunch of decisions that I have no control over. Felipe has chosen an unusual meeting place tonight. Anizette's ancient marble bathhouse is a place only nobles are allowed to enter. But tonight, in accordance with the advisor's will, its doors are open to you. The staff treat you with the subservience typically reserved for real noblemen. You are shown to a magnificent hall with a ceiling supported by centuries-old columns and left alone. The reflections of hundreds of candle flames dance across the walls and the water in the marble pool. You notice a bowl of candied fruit and a bottle of wine. There are no other patrons. This is most likely the only time you will ever see the inside of the bathhouse. Felipe rarely uses the same meeting place twice. After a while, you muster enough courage to enter the water. It is very warm. You lie on your back and float. Your body relaxes and a pleasant feeling of drowsiness creeps over you. You are startled by echoing footsteps and the percussive thudding of a cane. Felipe is approaching. Several burly men led by Oliver Moss follow behind him. You get out of the water and reach for your clothes, but Moss steps onto your garments, preventing you from covering yourself. Hello there, Brante. Felipe's men surround you. The advisor taps the floor with his cane. The sound echoes off the marble walls. Droplets of water from your wet hair run down your back, causing you to shiver. Are you really naive enough to think you could conceal your betrayal from me, Brante? I'm the advisor of the secret chancellery. I know all about the deals you made behind my back, but I'll give you one last chance to save yourself. Confess your betrayals, and maybe, just maybe, I won't drown you in this pool. Okay, I could betray Egmont. Unrest would go down by 1. Willpower will go down by 10. Mayor Egmont will be in jeopardy, and Felipe El Faro will go down by 4. I can betray Sophia. The unrest will go down by 1. Willpower will go down by 10. Sophia will be betrayed. Sophia will go down by 2. Felipe El Faro will go down by 4. Or I can deny, and my willpower will go down by 10, and Felipe El Faro will go up by 1, but my willpower will be at 0. Shit. Oh boy. Oh boy, game, you are really trying my patience. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I really like this game. I really do. I like the world of this game. I really do. But these little pain trains that they keep putting you on that just completely fucks all your stuff out that you try so hard to balance, it makes it really hard to play this game. It really does. I'm gonna deny my guilt, but Jesus Christ. You need to remain calm. Philippe does not know anything for sure. He's just fishing. The advisor is a hard man to deceive, but you've learned a lot over the years. Looking Philippe straight in the eye, you tell him that this test makes no sense. None of his enemies could possibly have counted on your help, not even for a second. You've made no deals. You have conspired with no one. You've not betrayed Sir Advisor. You are loyal to him and him alone. Philippe gazes at you for a moment, then snaps his fingers. Moss lifts his foot from your clothes. His men move aside a bit. Fine, Brante. You've passed the test. Your loyalty is admirable. I need a man in Magra I can trust. You may stay here until midnight. Loyalty deserves to be rewarded. They leave. You sit down right on the marble floor trying to calm your pounding heart. Just a little bit longer and you would have involuntarily given yourself away. Imagining your limp body floating in the pool, you feel no desire to stay. You wait a little while, then go home. That was really stupid. That was a really stupid event. I'm sorry, that's just really stupid event. That is infuriating. Now all my willpower is gone. And for all I know, I might be completely fucked as far as it goes for trying to actually, save Anazet and have a city state or anything like that because of this stupid train of stuff that just happened. All right, and then an urgent deal. It is late. You are prepared to go home when a priest with a long staff walks into the print shop. You recognize him immediately. He is the abbot of the temple at the Silver Tree. The face of the new faith in Anazet, Father Leonard. I must apologize for visiting you at so late an hour. Still, I'm glad you are here, Daeron. I am Father Leonard. You may have been to a sermon of mine, but I do not believe we have ever spoken in person. I've come to you regarding a rather delicate matter, but I have been made aware that your print shop often deals in matters such as these. I believe you know that Cassius, Magra's current patriarch, has not recognized the new faith. Our numbers are great, but the patriarch thinks we are just another heretical sect. My teacher, Patriarch Photis, was betrayed and murdered before he could have his doctrine recognized. The light of the new faith struck fear into the hearts of his enemies. But I'm determined to make sure Photis' teachings get the same recognition and respect in Magra as the teachings of Asteus. 1 month from today is an important day for the new faith, the anniversary of Patriarch Photis' murder. I wish to gather my flock at the place of his true death to address Patriarch Cassius and demand recognition for our faith. If several thousand new believers gather in the city, the Patriarch will have no choice but to heed our call. But in order to bring all these people to Anazet, I need your help, Brante. I know you can not only print my appeal, but also distribute it throughout the province. In the city of Anazet, the new believers stand firmly united, but our brethren are isolated from one another in the rest of the province, and I have no way of reaching them through the temples. The Inquisition and the priest of the old faith will never let my summons spread throughout Magra, but you can achieve what I cannot. I have written my appeal down for you. Please print it and see and see that my summons spread to every corner of Magra. I want every Magran new believer to realize that now is the time to stand up for our doctrine. I will summon them to the Silver Tree on the day of Photis' death. Patriarch Photis claimed that the truth that revealed itself to Isotaeus is not the only way to serve the twins. The doctrine of the new faith frees its followers from the strict shackles of the lots and teaches them to seek their own path to the peak of the shining pillar. Commoners free from the lots, refusing to do nothing but work and suffer. Lowly peasants claiming the right to rule and wage war. New believers ready to take up arms and fight for their faith. If they receive Father Leonard's summons, they will likely flock to the streets of Anazet. You glance over the handwritten page the abbot has given you. Brothers and sisters who have heard and received the word of Patriarch Photis as your own new faith, you have been summoned. Come to the place where our teacher's life was tragically cut short on the day of his demise. We will meet there in the shade of the Silver Tree to honor the memory of Patriarch Photis and complete his life's work. We will make ourselves heard by Patriarch Cassius. We will demand that the church recognize the new faith as equal to the teachings of Saint Isotaeus. We will make camp in the city, and we will not leave until our demands are met. Father Leonard has a great following among the people. His summons could have significant repercussions in Anazet. Okay, what will I do? I can either fulfill his request, report Leonard to Felipe, or take advantage of his sermon to recruit people into the last straw. Great. I'll lose willpower if I do that. Okay, if I fulfill his request, the church will go up by 1, unrest will go up by 2, spy networks will go down by 2, which will put me in another bad situation, and my reputation will go down by 2. Wonderful. If I report Leonard, church will go down by 1, unrest will go down by 2, spy networks will go up by 2, and my reputation will go down by 1. Wonderful. If I take advantage of this sermon to recruit people into the last straw, unrest will go up by 1, my spy network will go up by 1, reputation will go down by 1, eloquence will go up by 1, but my willpower will go down by 5. This is so, oh God, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. It's also really dumb that I don't get paid for this or anything. How are you maintaining a print shop and not getting paid to print shit? Oh boy. I guess the only thing I'm gonna have to hope for is that hopefully if I can unify my family, that will boost the reputation up. I don't know, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the reputation to 8 because the game keeps doing these trains of stuff that just really screws me. And I'm probably screwed on the next decision I make because I don't have the willpower to do anything. So even though you can have a negative whatever in willpower, but I can't turn around and do anything when it's in the negative, but whatever. You help Father Leonard, but only on one condition. He doesn't pay you. The abbot must let your man address the new believers on that day. Leonard hesitates. He's clearly wary of your request, but he is also clearly out of options. Very well, you have my word, Daeron. All of the orders are cancelled. You focus all your efforts on printing Father Leonard's summons. Once the leaflets are done, they are spread throughout the province by people you trust. Oh boy, that's just, oh my God, just sell it like a newspaper, you know, because it's a print shop. Sell it like a newspaper. 5 cents. That's all you have to turn around and do. I'm pretty sure it's worth a lot of money back then, but okay, you just print shit for no money. Makes a lot of damn sense. New believers soon begin to leave small Magran towns and villages and head to Anazet. The city authorities soon take note of the pilgrims arriving in greater numbers every day. 1 week before Patriarch Photis' memorial, the Anazet shuts its gates. But the thousands of new believers already inside its walls are outraged, and the gendarmes are forced to reopen the city. The prefecture, the Inquisition, the Legion, none of them are ready to contend with masses of new believers united by a common purpose. On the day of Patriarch Photis' death, Father Leonard prepares to address his flock with a sermon at the Silver Tree. Before he does, however, he keeps his promise and lets your man, Fod, have the first word. For several days you have been preparing a speech for Fod. Every word has been honed. Not one is to be wasted. You pull up your hood and join the huge crowd that has answered the abbot's call. And now the elderly preacher comes out on the steps of the temple. Fod addresses the immense crowd with all the might his voice can muster. The new faith has given them the chance to choose their own lots, you say. Despite their resistance of the old faith and the entire old world, those who wish to follow their own path will have to oppose the old ways. It cannot be helped. But they need not fear, because they are not alone. The mob mutters, but it is clear that many of them are weighing Fod's words. Someone shouts a question. If they choose this path, where should they go? And Fod responds, the last straw will welcome them with open arms. You hear harsh shouts behind your back. The gendarmes use clubs to make their way through the crowd to the steps of the temple. You give Fod a signal. Time to run. The old preacher quickly disappears in the back street of the temple district. Father Leonard starts his sermon, but the new believers, excited and confused by Fod's speech, barely listen. The struggle against the patriarch barely interests them now. Many of them have begun to dream of a new and better goal. The abbot's plan for Patriarch Photis' memorial is ruined. The flock has assembled in the city, but the throng of new believers are not united. Some leave the city soon afterwards, others, however, linger in the streets. This mysterious last straw is the only thing the faithful are talking about. I remember all their faces, then send them to Alita to make sure they share our goals. If she says they pass muster, I speak to them myself and let me tell you, friend, there are even priests among them. Good Lord. Unfortunately, the fact that your print shop was connected to the gathering of the new faith cannot be concealed for long. As a consequence, your family falls out of favor with the noble gentry, who all respect the teachings of Isateus. But you pay no attention to the accusations. The identity of the strange, rebellious preacher was never discovered after all. Leonard will never reveal your identity. Of that you can be certain. His intentions may be different from yours, but you know that he wants a revolt no less than you. Your words clearly hit home with him. Alright, and the rest is at a 7 now. Spy network is still at a 3. Our family has a modest reputation. I have a silver tongue. My willpower is exhausted. Oh, great. Oh, great. The event is a consequence of your previous actions. And I can't do anything because I don't have any willpower. Jesus. A year has passed since the day Gloria asked for your protection. You've brought up her lowly position several times in conversation with Father, but every time his face darkens and he asks you to stop. You can feel Stephan's influence behind these refusals. Your only option is to wait for something to change. Meanwhile, emotions are running high in the family. Gloria disappears for days at a time. She's often seen in the company of young citizens of low estates. Father constantly lectures Gloria, telling her that her friends are libertines and troublemakers, and connections like these will be her downfall. Your sister obediently lends an ear to his speeches, then vanishes again. You're relaxing in the bath after a long day when you suddenly hear rapid footsteps in the hallway and Stephan's angry voice. The door to the bathroom bursts open. Daeron, get dressed. We're waiting for you in the sitting room. It's urgent. Perplexed, you get out of the tub and make yourself presentable. Father and Stephan are waiting for you in the sitting room. Gloria is huddled in a chair in the corner. Your elder brother swiftly locks the door behind you. This bodes ill. So, I was on my way to a ball at the El Liberius mansion. I was already on their doorstep when a servant told me that he had been ordered to turn me away. They will not have anything to do with a family whose offspring is a member of a secret society. Father, Daeron, Whom do you suppose they meant? Gloria looks at Stephan defiantly, her lips pursed tightly. This is the last straw. You will make pariahs of us all, Gloria, and will not allow you to ruin everything Sir Gregor worked for. Stephan is nearly screaming, but then he pulls himself together and continues in a more composed manner. I'm afraid Lady Gloria cannot remain in this house, but being honorable people, we must provide for her future. Sir Jose El Pelletier is willing to take her as his lawful wife. Gloria, you will be accepted into a household of nobles of the sword. I have been negotiating with your suitor for quite some time. Who gave you the right to decide my fate behind my back? You aren't even the head of this family. Gloria, you must abide by the decision of your elders. This family has done so much for you already. Now I'm even going to provide you with a good match. But you're acting like a spoiled child. You would be a nobleman's wife, you fool. You'll be able to write your poems. You will want for nothing. You will be able to enjoy your life. Sir El Pelletier has been hounding me for a year now. I can't believe he's in love with me, a lowly common girl. Sure, he's easy on the eyes. He's a skilled warrior and a respected nobleman, but he needs a wife to give birth to his heirs, follow him around obediently at social gatherings, and praise his chivalry. Can't you see that I don't belong in this family? Stuff and nonsense. Father, here's the letter to the El Pelletiers. Sign it as head of the family. We should invite our future relatives to our house and introduce ourselves to Gloria's future husband and his parents. I hope that Daeron would do his part as well. Father reluctantly skims the letters and frowns. Stephan, why have you never spoken to me about a matter of such importance? No match can be made without my consent. Have I announced my wish for Gloria to be married? Father, she leaves us no choice. You know that we cannot make Gloria a Brante, but our family reputation still suffers because of her rebellious ways. Don't you see that this marriage will benefit everyone? Gloria springs to her feet, choking with rage. And I think I'm about to be choking with rage also. You'd do anything to prevent me from joining this family. This marriage will bring nothing but sorrow to me and Sir El Pelletier. All you ever think about is your own interests. Ingrate, I'm looking out for you and this is how you repay me. Or would you prefer to be cast out for your disgraceful antics? Father, please sign the letter and free us from this debacle once and for all. Gloria rushes towards you in desperation and clasps your hand. Brother, please, you promise you'd never let them kick me out. Okay. So, I can push pressure on Father, I can threaten Stephan, or I can say nothing. If I put pressure on Father, me and Stephan will have bad blood, Gloria will be more than happy with me, and me and Robert will lose -2, but Unity will go down by 2. If I can't challenge him to a duel, because I'm not a nobleman, so that's fine, I don't really care. Or I could threaten Stephan. Unity will go down by 1. Me and Stephan will have bad blood. And Gloria will go up by 2. And Stephan will be disgraced. What does that mean exactly, though? Is it gonna pop up on there? I don't think it pops up on there. Then again, if Stephan is disgraced, does that mean that I can become the heir of the family? But then we need to be ennobled by the sword, which we need a reputation of 8 to do. Yeah, we need a reputation of 8 to turn around and do. Family, Stephan. Yeah, that doesn't tell me. Oh great, I need willpower for that too. Good God. This is turning into a shit show and a half, and it's all because the game loves these little pain trains. Let's see. I'm going to turn around and do this. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I really would like the willpower, and it's a shame that this doesn't give me any willpower, but you know, breathing in this game is hard. So let me threaten Stephan. The lesser evil. You approach Stephan with a sly grin. It's time to share some old secrets. Long ago, you saw Stephan at the state of Duke El Velasco and learned about your brother's forbidden tryst. He has been in love with the Duke's daughter, Maria, ever since he was a youth, but the old Duke would never have given his daughter to the son of a humble judge, would he? Stephan's face is distorted by pain and rage. You've struck a nerve. You keep the onslaught. Stephan and the Duke's daughter have been lovers ever since, in spite of her marriage of many years. Oh dang, even I didn't know that. It seems your brother wasn't strong enough to end this forbidden affair. Is this how he strives to improve the family reputation? You conniving little sneak. You've been shadowing me ever since you were a boy, so you finally decided to play your hand, have you? You reply calmly to his outburst. Either Stephan stands down, or high society will learn of his affair with the Duke's daughter. He cannot dictate Gloria's fate as though she were his property. And Gloria must become a Brante and a full member of the family. This is the only way to make sure this never happens again. Daeron, you backstabbing wretch. You know I'll do whatever it takes to save my beloved's reputation. You shrug. If Stephan truly treasured Maria's reputation so much, he would have ended their affair long ago. Stephan lets out a bitter sigh. I never knew what a pitiless scoundrel you are. Fine, you win, but if you so much as mention Maria again, I'll kill you on the spot, and from this day forth, you are no brother of mine. The door slams loudly. Stephan rushes down the steps, saddles his horse, and is gone. Father and Gloria are still in shock. Daeron, what have you done? Stephan will never forgive you for this, and he might never come home again. You offer Father an explanation. Stephan was trying to seize control of this family. He wanted to decide its fate as he saw fit. He thought himself a second Gregor Brante, but the Brontes have had their fill of tyrants. You take the letter of marriage and tear it to shreds. Gloria let out a quiet shriek. You continue with the same passion. Father made his choice long ago. It was grandfather who tried to oust Mother and Gloria from this home for the crime of their low birth. Father has the right to choose his own family. Father sighs deeply, pulling himself together. You're right, Daeron. I have to admit it. My fear of your grandfather was too strong. But those days are over. Gloria is Lydia's daughter, the daughter of my wife, and she is my daughter as well. Gloria is shaking now. She cannot believe her ears. Dishonor does not frighten me. Gossip does not frighten me. Come to me, my daughter, Gloria Brante. Gloria falls on her adoptive father's shoulder, racked by silent tears. Father. You join their embrace. Gloria squeezes your hand with hers, your sister eyes glimmering with joy and gratitude. The family is uneasy after Stephan's disappearance. Furious at your extortion, your elder brother does not return home for a long time. He's a distaste for me, and he has bad blood. That's gonna be wonderful. Gloria has affection for me, and she is at home. And the peace of our family has gone down by one. So there's that. Alright, the year is 1144. We only have, I think, 2 more years in peacetime. The Archduke relents. After many years, the simmering, unceasing hostilities between Overseer Gaius Tempest and Archduke Milanatus have finally come to an end. The Archduke has abandoned all attempts to collect additional taxes from the people. By my grace, I hereby release the common people of Magra from the Archduke's taxes. All hail the dynasty of Milanatis, which has protected you since time immemorial. The farmers and merchants can finally heave a sigh of relief. Unexpectedly, the Archduke soon withdrew from all provincial affairs, sequestering himself in his ancestral castle of Serpenverda. The gentry who remain loyal to the Archduke are baffled. Has he accepted defeat at the hands of the overseer, or is this just an elaborate ruse? Either way, with the Archduke out of the picture, the senior gentry of Magra have lost some of their influence to the overseer and his retinue of budding dynasties and nobles of the mantle. The feud between the two Archnean rulers had ended, but the noble estate has been split nonetheless. The common people see this as yet another reason to demand change. Alright, struggle for powers went up by 1. It's almost at commoners in power. Interesting. Wealth of Magra just went up by 1, so now it's at 2. But still misery and devastation. Alright, a dangerous haul. So, that's what we'll pick up in the next episode. I'm going to end it there. But I also think I'm going to go back a little bit and try and give me some willpower and stuff. Because, yeah, I think I'm just going to have to go all the way back. Probably all the way back to my youth. And I didn't want to do that, but it just seems like the game is really putting these situations where it's just really hard to get anything done. But, you know, again, that's just one of the biggest issues I have with this game, is that it wants you to balance things, but then it gives you these decisions where if you go too far, it puts you in this rain situation where you get killed or you get into these death spirals, and then it's just event after event after event happening, and it throws you all the way back, and you have no control over that. Like, it's near the end of the chapter now, and you've hit me with 2 situations that have basically put me in a very bad spot. So, I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's real stupid. You shouldn't have stuff like that. And you shouldn't have these decisions where it's just constantly putting you in a bad spot. If you turn around and you don't have any other options out of it, what's the point of having, you know, diplomacy and all these other situations if it still gives you a bad or a shit situation? Like, I understand things aren't going to be perfect all the time, but Jesus Christ, don't give me a pain train of decisions that just makes it almost impossible to balance stats. Because here we are at the end of the chapter now, and I'm in a very bad spot because of some decisions that just came about near the end. For whatever reason, the decision was made. But anywho, we're gonna go back and try and undo some of these stats and undo some of these decisions or whatnot, and see if I can put myself in a better position. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. So if you like the video, like the video. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe. I have a lot of things on the channel, and I plan to do many other things on the channel going forward. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer anything that you wish. Or if it's just a general comment you want to make or a general observation, more than happy to read that also. So thank you for watching, and in the next one, we'll see what this dangerous haul is about. See you in the next one.